Welcome, my peeps, my peoples. Please like, comment, subscribe, share the video. It'd be greatly appreciated from the bottom of my heart. It's Mary Jane. Let's talk about Love and Hip Hop, the reunion, part 2, Atlanta. Let's get into it. We start off with Spice and Tommy still going in at it. They're still arguing and fighting and fussing among each other. But, Tommy was like, oh, you're not appreciative. You don't like what I did for you. You don't like I had the makeup artist, the glam artist. I had this, I had that going on. And you worried about some other stuff, like you're not appreciative. I was just like, damn, she's going in. And Tommy was like, you made me look bad, Spice, especially telling people that I was coming in late. I was late. I didn't show up here. I didn't show up there. And you're making me look like I'm more of an alcoholic than what I really am. Like, why are you doing that, Spice? Like, you effing this. Tommy was really going off. Like, she was mad because she felt like Spice was trying to expose her. And Spice was like, no, you was really late. And Spice was trying to explain about the pig situation and like why she was late and all this other stuff. It was just like, damn. And Spice was like, yo, I was genuinely concerned for you, but you're showing up all types of late and you're disrespectful. And then that's when Spice was like, you're disrespectful to your mother. So how can I expect you to be respectful to me when you disrespect your mother? And then Samantha jumped in and said, don't worry about me. Don't worry about me. She can disrespect me. She didn't say you can disrespect me, but the way she jumped up was like, she can disrespect me all she wants. And so it was just like going back and forth between Spice and, Tommy, which was a sad situation because you wanted Spice and Tommy to actually have a good relationship, because you can see that Spice can actually steer Tommy in the right direction and Tommy can actually steer Spice in a few directions. But it just didn't work out that way. And then Tommy was like, oh, you're a hip hop, you're a pop star from Jamaica over here on Love and Hip Hop in America. So basically Tommy was just trying to say, you're over here using the American audience, you're on Love and Hip Hop and all this other stuff. Won't you do that in your Jamaica town? Won't you do that in Jamaica, you pop star? So Spice was like, damn, for real? Spice was like, yo, you've been on this show for years. What you got to show for? What have you done? I'm just like, damn. And it's like, Spice, got this, I don't know who wrote the lyrics, but, they got the lyrics down, they got the video down. It's just like, damn, you think Tommy will be a little bit appreciative that since Tommy been on the show, she's been chasing around Stevie J, chasing him around, trying to do music with him, trying to do music with Jocelyn. And that's none of it ever panned out. Like, it didn't work. Like, even on Stevie J's his other show that he has on VH1, she wanted to do music with Stevie J, and it didn't work out. It didn't happen. And she does music with Spice, and it actually comes out. It's actually a video. It actually happens. So you just think Tommy will be more appreciative, but she's not, because Tommy has issues. She has problems, the way she grew up and the way she was raised. And then they also bring up, Tommy and her sister. So, they are back together. They're friends, and their family, one love. And also Samantha talks about her illness. She says that, one day she was drinking, she was piling, she was at Coachella, and, she was having pains all over her body. And then, when she wasn't drinking, she was having the same pains. So she didn't elaborate what, type of illness or sickness that she's going through, but she's going through something and she's trying to get some help. And then from there, we don't see, we don't see Tommy anymore. Then it was like, oh, Carly Red, what did you think about the situation between Spice and, Tommy when you guys were sitting at the meeting? That's when Tommy went off and she had, people come and talk to her like, yo, you can't film no more, Tommy, unless you get sober. And so, Carly Red was like, yo, listen, I've been there, done it before. I'm not going to judge the girl. I understand where she's coming from. It's a hard pill to swallow. It's no joke. So, Tommy was just like, yo, I'm trying to get better. I'm trying to change myself. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to do that. My mom being sick. I'm trying to get closer to my family and all this other stuff. But Tommy has since been arrested since the show has filmed the reunion part 2. And she's been out there drinking and messing around and partying, having a good time. I don't know how that bracelet that she has on that is working, but she's been out here lit in the streets. She's been lit in the streets. So there goes that situation. Then we talk about Scooter. Scooter talk about the situation, the stress of losing his son, Rod Jr., which is a sad situation, which is a terrible situation. And, him not having, Ciara to be there to support him and have his back, her, leaving him out there alone, basically, because, he made a lot of mistakes as he cheated on her. Supposedly, one baby's not his, but he didn't test the other baby to find out if he's the father or not. But, he really expected Ciara to be there. Ciara was like, oh, I was there for him. I called him, I did this. And that's when Shooter was like, she did the bare minimum. And of course she's going to do the bare minimum because you treated your wife like shit. You treated her terribly. And, you know, so she just, you know, she backed up and she, you know, went on her merry way. And, you know, if Shooter wanted, you know, Ciara to treat him like a husband, like family, he should have treated her like a wife. He should have been there he should have been a husband to her, been a real husband to her, and not have women working in the shop that he was having sex with and making Ciara like the butt of the jokes in Atlanta. Everybody know that he got these babies out here. He's cheating. He got women working in the shop that he's messing with, like Mariah. So it's a sad situation, but he wanted her to be there for him. So I can understand where he's coming from, and I understand where Ciara's coming from. Like, yo, you did me like this, so I'm not going to be there for you at all. But you know what? To death do his part. And also, like, yo, when somebody loses a child, that's that hurt. That's something that Shooter or anybody that ever lost a child would never ever get over. They would never ever have, you know, the good night peace and sleep and be able to just, you know, live their daily life that they used to live. Because once you lose a child, that's the worst thing in the world, because you're supposed to outlive your children. You don't supposed to outlive your children. And just knowing that your seed, somebody that you brought into this world, is gone and there's nothing you can do about it, it hurts, especially if it's from murder. Especially if it's from, like, murder. Murder is the worst thing in the world. If it's sickness or disease or a car accident, you can kind of move forward. But when someone takes their life, that's a whole different story. That's a whole different situation. And yeah, Ciara should have been there a little bit more for him, I think, in my opinion. But just being there, just giving him support. She didn't want to have sex with him. She can bring him some food. She can just knock on his door, call him, and be there for him. But he didn't treat her like a wife, so she didn't behave like a wife to him. That's what happens. And, you know, and Shooter, at the end of the episode, Shooter looked like really depressed when they started to talk about how BK was cheating on her and BK was with the other girl, whatever her name is, that is BK's orders. Like, I don't know these people. And, you know, Shooter was just sitting back, just looking like, damn, I really messed up. Shooter really felt like he messed up when he heard all the stories about BK cheating on Ciara, his former wife. That damn, like, he knows that this man is going to play her and use her just like he did. And if he would have did right by her, she wouldn't be in a situation she is with BK. And she forgives BK for everything that he did to her. Even the recent incident being in a hotel with his artist, she getting on top of him. And Ciara said that, you know what, I'm not going to hold anything against Shooter because I was still married. That doesn't mean nothing. You can be married and you can be legally separated, and she was legally separated and be in a full-fledged relationship with somebody else. When you have a commitment, we are together. Ciara, you was not sleeping with Shooter. You and Shooter was over. It was done. It was done and was over. And you committed yourself to BK. BK did not commit himself to you. He used you being married as an excuse to overlaps with his relationships. And it's just like sad because, you know, Ciara doesn't see it. She doesn't feel it. You know, she thinks that, you know, it's a terrible situation. It's something that you don't want your daughters, your aunties, or anybody that you know to follow in Ciara's footsteps. Is just being such a footstool, just being like, she has that sign that's written all over her: use me, take advantage of me, play me, cheat on me, lie to me, I'll believe you. And, you know, Shooter knows what kind of woman she is, and he knows that BK is going to take full advantage of her. But it is what it is. You know, she doesn't care that it overlaps. She doesn't care he's sleeping with strippers. He's sleeping with his artists, whatever he calls them, side pieces, whatever. BK is really preferring to, you know, Ciara as his best friend. She's my best friend, this and that. Not saying that she's the love of my life. She's my lover. I love her. She's my soulmate. He's like my best friend, so he can keep in a good word with the other females that he is effing with. And that's why Carly Red was like, yo, I don't want to hear best friend no more. Even, you know, Tokyo was like, I don't want to hear best friend no more. Take that shit and go somewhere with that. Like, come on, buddy. Don't try to play us with this. And so that's when Keely jumps in, was like, you know, Ciara wasn't there for Shooter. You know, she is supposed to be deaf to his part. She just left him high and dry. She was messing with BK. She wasn't even divorced yet. She was with BK. She was all over him when he lost his son. She wasn't there. She wasn't supportive. I can understand Keely, where she's coming in at and what she's saying. But if she's not that close to Shooter, and she was actually more closer to Ciara, you know, she got to mind her business. But, you know, she's trying to get in where she fit in. She's trying to be on the show. She's trying to get another season out of the show. Blue Da Vinci's trying to be on the show too as well. I totally get it. I understand that pay is good. Like, I ain't faulting none of y'all. But Keely did really come off so bad this season. Maybe she needs another shot to do better. And so then with that situation, it was just sad, and then Keely, she loses K Bachi or whatever. That relationship is over, and it's because the baby father was Blue Da Vinci. I was just like, damn it. Was it really because it was Blue Da Vinci? What's really going on? I was just like, damn, Blue Da Vinci showed up looking good. You could tell he took care of himself. He's been in and out, but he has taken care of himself this season. He looks good. And Sierra was just like, she wasn't jealous when she hit, Keely with the purse. She was just annoyed and she was just tired of her. And then, she just didn't like the shit that she was doing. Like, she didn't care that, Shooter's with another woman, because Shooter's been with plenty of women. The problem was she was just annoyed with Keely, so that's why she hit her in the face with the pocketbook. So terrible. So she hit her in the head with the pocketbook. That's what it was. And the Sierra was like, if Keely really knew, Shooter, when we showed up to that nonviolence, event that Shooter was having for his son, Keely would have never threw that marker at me, because she would have realized that this is a nonviolence event and this is for Shooter and his son. And so, Sierra was like, she don't know shit about Shooter. She don't know nothing about his son. She don't know nothing. She ain't that close to him, because if she did, she wouldn't have done that. And, Shooter was upset. He was mad that, Keely tried to have some violence go down, but Keely was trying to get it in. She done got hit over the head with a pocketbook and dragged down that dirty ass club floor. And then on top of that, she found out that, K Bachi was cheating on her too, so she was trying to get back. She was trying to get into it. And so moving on from that, so you got that cheating situation. And, Tokyo talks about her being a virgin and not sleeping around. And maybe, Tobias could be the one. And she's not gonna let no man force her to sleep with them or have sex with them. She's gonna do it when she's ready, because all her homegirls get cheated on. And Sierra was like, were you talking about me? You talking about me? Yeah, we talking about you, Sierra. You the girl that just getting played. And everybody knows you getting played. All of America know you getting played, but except for you. So, but we already know that, Tokyo, Vanity is not with Tabachi. She's not with Tobias. She's actually with Ferrari. Ferrari, she's actually with, him. So she's doing her thing with him. I was like, oh shit, she's with Black China's ex. So is she moving on up or is she moving on down? And so then they get to the situation with Carly Red and Tobias. And then that's when Jock was like, yo, when Carly Red was doing her video shoot, I seen Tobias. He had no shirt on. He had this and that. I knew something was going on. So they went out on a date. So it was not like a brother-sister situation. They was actually hanging out. And he was actually at her video shoots. And he was actually, like one of the models for her video. So Jock was like, I knew something was going on. So Tobias been around for a minute. I was just like, oh shit, here we go again. So we get that situation out the way, and in the BK in the hotel with another woman. Then they show him being with Amber, him being with Joy, then being back with Joy in the hotel room. It's just like, damn. It's like Sierra was like, I forgive him, and like he don't do nothing wrong because I was married then, but now look at him. That's your man. And she was still in a relationship with him, and it overlaps, but she's not trying to hear it. She's not trying to hear anything that happened with that situation. I was just like, damn, that's just just really sad. And so, what's his name? Tobias, he talks about Tokyo because he's asked a question. He was like, is he really attracted to Tokyo? Does he really like Tokyo? He was like, Tokyo, she got a little weight on her though. I was like, yo, why you say that? She got a little weight on her though, but her confidence is 100. And she has such high confidence. And so then that's when, Tokyo was like, I'm pretty though, right? I'm pretty though. I'm fucking fine though. But you know what? If you listen to that Chris Brown song, it's like, I love your confidence. A lot of guys do love confidence. So that's what it is with that situation. So, but, she ain't trying to get cheated on. She ain't trying to get played, but she's messing with Ferrari. So we'll see how that situation goes. If Ferrari was trying to get on Love and Hip Hop last year, Love and Hip Hop Atlanta last year, so maybe this year, maybe next year he'll be able to get on to, Love and Hip Hop Atlanta with, Tokyo, if she's actually still out here and want to do Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. I'm just like, oh shit. And and Keely is basically trying to keep her shit together. Her and Keibachi's over. It's done with. It's just like, damn, did they even really have a relationship? He ain't missing her or nothing. She ain't missing him or nothing. And basically, Keely is focusing on her son. And, they ask, Keibachi, and they ask, Blue Da Vinci, like, how did you guys feel? Did you want to fight each other? Like, what happened? Like, how did you feel about the situation about, Keibachi? How you feel about the situation of Keely not telling you who the baby daddy was? And so that's when Keely jumped in, was like, well, he was upset because, not because I didn't tell him who it was, because it was Blue Da Vinci, because it was kind of like intimidation. That's when Keibachi was like, I wasn't intimidated. I'm a grown-ass man. And that's when Blue Da Vinci jumped in, was like, I ain't got no issue with nobody you messing with, and I ain't got no issue with Keibachi. I got an issue with what me and you created, our son. That's what we need to worry about. I ain't got no issue with none of these guys out there. So, and so when, Tokyo called, Keely Potato Head, she was like, you thought I was a booger and you was gonna try to pick me. You thought I was scared. You thought you was gonna run over me. And then Tokyo called Keely a liar, like, you ain't no A&R person. You don't even know what A&R is, and you never broke an artist in your life, and all this other stuff. And so then they talk about Tobias was actually managed up under Keely and Blue Da Vinci or whatever, Blase in the third. And so he was like, well, Tobias was like, well, they both managed me or whatever. She was part of the business. And so Tokyo was like, well, she went to go get your coffee. She got your bus ticket. She got you a ride. She fetched the limo for you. I was like, oh no, she was going in. It was just like, oh shit. And so then we get down to the situation where, Sierra and Spice and, Estelita. All that situation is smashed, is all good. There's no beef with that, but the beef is, Carly Red still got beef with BK actually coming after the girls, swearing and being threatening, and trying to yell and scream up on the females when he didn't need to. But what's her name? Sierra, she appreciates it because she was like, I know he had my back and he was going to let nobody try to jump me, whatever. There was so much security there, nobody was going to jump you or hurt you. And plus, the girls are already miles away from you. So it was just like, it was back and forth with that dumb shit. So they all made up. They all cool. Everybody, Spice and, Tokyo are cool. And Sierra and, Estelita are cool. Everybody's really cool, but no one's really cool with Keely. No one's really cool with Keely at all. And actually, Carly Red is not cool with BK. She doesn't like the way that he was yelling, screaming, and calling the women names. And so, Spice and, Tommy are not cool right now. But maybe they might make up in the past. Who knows what's going to go on with that situation. So anyways, it really wasn't much. Peace out. I'm glad it was only part 2 of the reunion and not part 3. That tells you that this season was missing a lot. But we had about 7 good episodes this year. Out of how many episodes we had 7 good episodes. Peace, I'm out.